I'm doing this video because I need to get over my own stage fright. Showing up online, putting myself out to the world in long form content. You see, I'm fine one-on-one with my clients. I am fine in a group setting. I'm fine at a leadership conference. I'm fine showing up and delivering a message to a room full. But making content, posting it on YouTube and having no idea who in the world's going to see it, it's held me back a little bit. So I was talking with one of my clients and I realized I'm still afraid of YouTube. There's a block there. And so I'm actually looking forward to ripping off this Band-Aid and getting it all out there so that one day I can come back to this, or my kids can come back to this and see how far we've come. So the thing, talking, giving a presentation, is not necessarily hard. Once you have this set up, you understand there's programs online. I'm currently using Descript as my recording software, if that's what it's called. I don't know all the techie terms. I have this Samson microphone that I've had for a couple years. It's done me well. And once you understand how to actually set up your YouTube account, which I watched a YouTube video for how to do that, basically you have to hit play and you have to let it go. Two things. I am not someone that likes to stand still when I'm presenting. So sitting in this chair, I realized, is very hard for me. I do like to use the whiteboard, but I get stuck between, do I need to draw it before the video, after the video, during the video? When do I do it? I don't know. I'm just sharing this with you off the cuff to show you a real life example of what it's like for a nurse who used to work in the hospitals, work for healthcare, worked in leadership, to transition to becoming an online entrepreneur with an online business. There are things that I am not fully competent or aware of how to do. And it's the anticipation of it. It's the future tripping, the mind fuck, so to speak, excuse my French, that I do to myself sometimes. And so for me, it seems like all these ideas that I come up with for long form content are when I'm in the shower, when I'm driving in the car, when I'm cooking dinner, when I have a house full of children, when somebody needs help with their homework, and I have no time to sit down and do what I'm doing right now. And quite frankly, it pisses me off. And I've been in a little back and forth with God about timing lately. And the answer that keeps coming back to me is to just take action. Do it. Stop making excuses and get it out of the way. Show up. So this reminds me of nursing school in the sense that before we all went to the hospital, or depending on where your clinical was, it could have been at a nursing facility, it could have been at the VA center, it could have been anywhere. Before we put in a catheter, a urinary catheter for a man or a woman for the first time, we practiced on a mannequin. And then our preceptors took us and went to the units of the hospital and asked around, does anyone need to place a catheter today? Because I have my nursing students here. There's 9 or 12 of us in a nursing cohort, a clinical group. And they would say, page me on this pager when you need one because we are going to come place it. And I remember thinking to myself, please God, get the patient that is unconscious. Please God. I don't want them awake. I don't want family in the room. Don't let me screw anybody up. Okay, amen. And so my turn came, and I remember the door opening, and I saw the patient in bed with his eyes wide open, only about 50 years old. We know that is not old. With his wife sitting next to him, and he was going to be awake for the whole thing. And so I had to put all of my big girl panties on and proceed this patient. And he had on his hospital gown and had to pull back the sheet. And I am looking at my preceptor like, please do not make me do this with this man staring at me. And he was sitting up in the bed. And I remember she said, lay his head back. And I thought, thank God, at least he's going to be laying flat. So when I laid him back and then I pulled up his nursing gown, there is no judgment in this comment. But I had never seen a penis like that where you couldn't see the penis. It was like skin. And then there was this little button kind of thing like this. And so my preceptor looked down and she looked at me and she gave me this look like, do not make them see what you're thinking. And so, and how in the hell did I get on this topic? I'm getting over my stage fright. Do you see this? Just share stories about what you know. So she slowly started pressing on the skin to get this thing to pop up. It was circumcised. And so then basically she told me to do that. And so she took her hand away and I did that. And so I was doing like this to pop the button up. And so there it is. But then, you know, you have sterile gloves on. And so by the time you touch the penis, this hand becomes contaminated and you have to do everything with your other hand so it stays sterile. So I'm doing all this stuff and I get to the part where you have to clean it with the cleaning solution, clean. And then you have to get the KY jelly and you take the tip of the catheter and you like swirl it around in the KY jelly and then you go to put it in the hole of the penis. The minute I got the catheter to the tip of the penis, I swear to God, the jelly from the tip of the catheter like got where my fingers are and the whole thing like went back down. It was like, boop. I couldn't see it anymore. And so my preceptor, knowing that the field is sterile, comes by, on either side, and we're trying desperately to get, we eventually got the catheter in. I've never felt so terrible in my life. So that when it came time for my first IV to put in, you know, in the vein so that you can start fluids, antibiotics, whatever, I begged my preceptor, please do not make me do this on someone that's awake. And sure enough, I got someone that was in a coma and boom, it was perfect. And actually, what I asked for after that day was anytime that they had someone in holding for OR, I said, I want to go spend the day with that person because that person starts IVs all day long. And so that day I got to put in like 20 IVs and I got really good on that first day. So the moral of this story is that no matter how perfect you want things to be, if it's your first time, there's a learning curve. And I think it's easier just to accept it and just let it be. So it's like driving a car. You can make 100 on the written test, but until you get behind the wheel and have to take yourself from point A to point B, or worse, a car full of people from point A to point B, you're not going to be amazing. You're not going to be an amazing driver. This is actually why race car drivers use visualization before their races. In NASCAR, you can see them. They actually will sit there and they've got simulators and they will close their eyes and they will pretend like they are on the track because what they're doing is they're programming their subconscious brain so that by the time the race day comes, their brain is functioning. Their nervous system feels safe. So they are not clenched and scared because they've already programmed that in their brain. So if you want to take the edge off from your first online experience, you could use visualization. And basically what that means is you would visualize the end scene before doing it. You would close your eyes. You would imagine pushing the buttons, uploading the thing, talking, doing this, whatever you want to do. If you want to have a script or use ChatGPT or ask a friend or phone a friend or whatever. If you want to have somebody on there with you, it doesn't really matter. What matters is you visualize the end scene that shows that it's successful. So you close that up, you upload it, but what would make it successful for you? Would 5 likes make it successful? Would a comment that said, thank you, I learned so much, make it successful? By the way, if you're watching this and you feel so moved to like or comment, that would be so much appreciated. And I promise you, it will come back to you in the universe in the form of good karma. And what we put out in the world, the energy we put out in the world is what we get back. So feel free, if you are watching this now, to don't forget, leave some encouragement, and encouragement will come back to you. All right. But that's also kind of the cool part, not to be perfect and to be messy, right? This is not my best, and I'm okay with that. I can promise you I haven't lost any confidence. And if my husband's watching this, he's laughing right now. To me, confidence isn't about looking polished, sounding cool, or trying to impress you, because I will never do that. Confidence is when there is nothing in between us. When you get me for what I am, which is often raw and unpolished anyway, and full of heart and compassion to help you achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. And I see you. It's this gift that God gave me. It just has been that way my whole life. I can see you, the real you. And most of my clients love that because it becomes a very safe and sacred space when we are together. And so I don't take that lightly. I'm very grateful for that experience that I get to have with my clients. But it's this energy of, this is who I am. And you might like me, you might not, but it's me. And here's the truth. This is what I know, is that no one's going to hold you to a higher standard than you set for yourself. And no one's going to hold you accountable to the future that you said you wanted. So you got to get out there and do it. This is me going out there. I was called to this purpose. My life up to this point has given me all the crap so that I would learn how to overcome it, so that I did overcome it, so that then I could create the programs and help to give back to the other women who are also just as worthy, incredible, talented, amazing, capable. And when we tap into our divine spirit and let our soul lead, anything is possible. So this is not self-improvement. Ugh, I hate that word. Oof. I'm more of a self-awareness, self-understanding kind of person. The know who you are and who you aren't. Know what you're for and what you're not for. Know what you need and what you don't need kind of girl. And everything in life that we want starts within us. It starts with us. The connection we have with ourself. So, for example, my capacity to be honest with myself is very correlated with my ability to be honest with you. So, know that I'm not comfortable on camera, but it's not going to stop me from doing what I want to do. And my capacity to connect with myself is very correlated with my ability to connect with you. So doing this uncomfortable thing allows me to dig deeper into the why behind it. Why am I afraid? What is going to happen? When we acknowledge our feeling and we get curious, we don't try to resist it, we can learn a lot about ourselves. And the ladder of transformation goes 5 layers deep. And on the very surface, by the way, I had no idea our conversation was going this way, but just hang tight, because this is actually going to be a very cool thing. Hopefully the rest of it's been very cool too. But there are 5 layers deep. And so on the very outer layer, it's about the behaviors that we have. And if they're limiting, like this, I have the limiting behavior of not doing the long form content, which according to online entrepreneurs is hurting my ability to grow my business. And so I don't want to do that. Oh, I just hit a button that totally changed my visual field. Let's fix that. All right, button. I think I got it figured out. No? Maybe. This is how it happens. I don't even remember what I was talking about. The ladder of transformation. Okay. On the very surface is limiting behaviors. Those are the behaviors that we exhibit every day. Right below that is the thoughts and the stories that are driving those behaviors, the actions that we're taking. And below that are the feelings, the emotions, and below that are the beliefs, which were stored, most of them by the time we were 9. And below that is the original incident in our life that led to whatever it is that's holding us back. So this transformation, most people like to try and transform their life from the top 2 rungs. From I'm going to change my behaviors and I'm going to change the way I think. And this is why if you've ever done this, like tried to lose weight or done a Whole30 or done 75 hard and yeah, it was great, but guess what? As soon as it was done, you went right back to your old habits and behaviors and gained the weight back and possibly more, and included shame because now you're frustrated that it didn't work for you. But that's because transformation doesn't happen here at the top layer where the behaviors are, nor does it happen where the thoughts are changed. You got to go deeper. You got to go down to the feeling. That's holding you back. You got to go down even deeper to the belief. You got to go even deeper to the original incident that led to all these other things that are happening. So this takes purposeful investigation. It takes time. And so my goal today is going to be to put all that on paper. And so I'm going to start with, why do I avoid long form content? What thoughts and stories are going on in my head that prevent me from doing it? I got to write this down before I forget because I just thought of something. And then I'm going to ask myself, what emotions are coming up? Is it fear? Is it embarrassment? Worry? What is it? And then it's what is the belief that's driving all of this? What is the belief? That I'm not good enough? That I don't know what I'm going to say? That I'm going to hurt somebody? What's the belief? I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, so I got to figure that out. And then what was the original incident that happened in my life that led to this limiting belief? Because there's no reason that I shouldn't feel comfortable on YouTube. In my business, with what I do, there's no reason that I shouldn't feel comfortable. So that's a limiting belief that's holding me back. And so there was something that happened in my life that created that limiting belief that led to where I am right now. All right? So once I find that original incident, I get to go back. And most of my original incidents are before the age of 7. The book full of ones that I've done through my years of transformation. And so I get to go back and I get to go to that little girl and I get to rewrite that belief. I get to replay the entire scene. I get to forgive the adults that were obviously misled, misinformed, emotionally unintelligent, whatever the situation was, because I believe in my heart that everyone is innately good and everyone has good intentions. And although bad things happen to me, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad people, and it doesn't do me any good to hold a grudge against them. It actually holds me back. So it's okay to forgive people, because forgiving them is forgiving me my power back. That doesn't mean I have to forget. It doesn't mean that what they did was right. Don't get me wrong. Terrible things have happened in my life. Absolutely horrific things. There are people that should be in jail. And they're not. And they most likely never will be. I just went off on a tangent. But anyways, I get to go back to that original incident. And I get to see that little girl and give her what she needed in that moment, which was love and compassion and understanding. And I get to tell her she is enough. And that she is loved. And that she is capable and powerful and deserves all the amazing things that God has for her. Okay? And once that happens, it's amazing, the ripple effect. But here's the thing. Until you find that original incident, these problems continue to surface in our life until we go back and rewrite that story. You have to completely eliminate and erase and rewrite. Or you will try and try and try every surface level fix there is. Because while that is still running in the background, that scene from your life that created this thought that you are less than, or not enough, or not loved, and you may be thinking, nothing in my life happened like that. Bullshit. Everybody's got it. Every single person. If you don't have it, your life is perfect. And most people don't have a perfect life. So guess what? You have original incidents too. But this is the process that is used to release stored trauma, along with certain body movements. Now, just like the book, The Body Keeps the Score, our mind likes to forget things, but our body never will. So that's the other part of this that I could share with you today, is that none of this healing, none of this transformation is going to be possible with just my mind alone. We have to get the body involved. We have to move that energy through. So one way that I do that, we can just spend like 2 minutes going over this together, but what I do is I end up centering myself, grounding myself. And I do that by taking 3 deep breaths. Let's just pretend I did that. And what I'll do on the last one is I will literally just shrug my shoulders and make them so tight and then let them go. Feels so freaking good. And find a way to release all that tension in your body. And then what you want to do is you start bringing your focus inward. And as you're bringing it inward, you're inhaling and you're exhaling relaxation. And you're saying to yourself, body, this is a safe place to be, and I choose this. As you're breathing, as you're bringing awareness inside, reconnecting with your body. And then what you want to do is you want to take your center of gravity, wherever that energy is. Most of the time throughout the day, we're so stressed that by the time that we start paying attention, it's usually all the way up here. It's in our chest, our shoulders, our neck, our throat, because we're like that. And so I want you to purposefully push that down into your pelvic region, where we are much healthier when our center of gravity, our center awareness, is down there. Think about it, because when life happens, if life comes up to you and just knocks you off course, and all of your center of awareness is right here, you're much easier to be shifted, affected in a negative way. If it's down here, you can stand your ground. You can pause, you can breathe. You can remind your nervous system that you're safe before you react. You can allow yourself time to respond from a place of alignment, from your higher self, rather than reacting out of, anger, frustration. And so you just want to notice how your body starts reacting on the inside. And the other thing that you can do is you can tell yourself, everything arises for my benefit. And most of the time, if there's something within me that's painful, at that time I will just break open like a water dam and cry. And so allow that to happen. Create that space as you get to know yourself. Because this is how we build our self-awareness, our self-understanding. And the more aware we are of ourselves, the more we can develop that love, that worth. What comes from that is feminine energy and power. And I don't use the word power as a way to masculine or overcome. I use the word power as divine and spirit, as knowing that you are capable and deserving of everything great. So, in my life, I've learned that in order for me to connect more deeply with others, I start by connecting more deeply with myself. And I'm realizing what I've done in this video is I've taken the time to love myself first, because that's who I'm going to be spending the rest of my life with anyway. And just like an airplane, when they say put your oxygen mask on first so you can help others, that's how I view love. Because the more I invest in loving myself, the deeper my love is for everyone else. I think that's it for now. And I must say, this felt really good. So let me know what else you'd like to hear. I need the practice with long form content. So ask questions and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you have a lovely day. Now, if I can find the off button, because I never knew where it went, that would be great. There it is.